There is no such thing as overnight success. You might see it in the online space where somebody looks like they've got it all put together, but I can promise you, nobody has it all put together. I've never met a coach who doesn't also have their own challenges and the things that keep them up at night. I've never met a healer who doesn't always do their own healing work. I've never met coaches and spiritual workers and light workers who don't also have personal relationship challenges and health challenges. There's nothing wrong with you, and there's nothing holding you back, and you are enough. No matter what story your brain is trying to tell you, whether you're not enough, you're not doing it fast enough, you don't have the right expertise, you don't have the right certification, you don't know how to market yourself, whatever story you're telling yourself, let it go. Surrender to the gift of being human and the ability to share and help and serve and love humanity through this massive transformation that we are going through. All you need to know is the next step. You do not need to know it all. Believe me, Annie, if you're watching this, we are all learning one step at a time. And we learn as if we're on a road trip and we're not quite sure where we're going. We've never been in to that destination before. And so we see different scenery, we do things that are uncomfortable, but we get there one step at a time, and that's all you need to do. So if you're feeling like you have this great big message or something that you want to share or something that you want to help the world with, and you know you've got these gifts to share, but you just don't know how, or you're uncertain, or you don't trust yourself, this episode's for you. I'll see you on the inside. Healers, light workers, change makers, spiritual coaches, what's stopping you from getting paid for your gifts? What is it in your mind that you believe to be true that stops you from moving forward and creating the abundant, prosperous life that's available to you? There are hundreds of thousands of healers and coaches out there who are living this prosperous, beautiful, extraordinary life. What's holding you back? And I can promise you it's the story you're telling yourself. Maybe it's the technology and it's confusing or overwhelming, or it drains your energy trying to figure it out. And so you don't move forward. Maybe you don't have confidence in your ability to move your message out into the world. Maybe you don't quite trust those gifts yet. And so it's stopping you and holding you back. But whatever your story is, it's time for a new one. Because you deserve and are entitled to the return of value for the value you give to the world with your gifts and with your magic. I know it can be difficult to explain to other people what you do and what your magic is, but you deserve to get paid for it when you are willing to move it out into the world. So whatever story it is that you are telling yourself, I invite you to just check in with that story and ask yourself if it's actually true. And go find people who have written a new story for themselves and who have stepped through. You know, I wish there was an easier pathway than stepping out of your zone of familiarity in order to create the life of your extraordinary. There isn't. You have to get uncomfortable in order to learn to trust yourself, in order to gain more confidence, in order to become resilient and able to work with technology. It's part of the process, and you deserve all of that journey and more. You deserve to grow and expand and to share your message with the world, because, my friends, the world needs you now. Whatever your gifts are, whatever your soul is crying out to share with the world needs you now. Choose your sovereignty, choose your power, feel afraid, and decide to move forward anyway. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't need to know all the answers. All you need is the willingness to take one step forward. And yes, your mind is going to try to keep you safe. Your mind is going to tell you that you don't know what you're doing, that you're not enough. Your mind might say things like, somebody else is doing it better, so who am I? Your mind is going to trip you up. That's part of being human. But the other part of being human is the ability to befriend your mind and to teach it new tricks. And if you're watching this and you think, yeah, but you can't teach an old dog new tricks, I call bullshit. You can do this. The world needs you. And it's time to rewrite the story as we witness the world going through a massive transformation, as we witness the awakening of thousands and thousands of people. You, your magic, your gifts are needed. Not just desired, but needed. And it is time for you to write a story that supports you in moving forward, to write a story of bravery, of courage, of resiliency, of determination, to write a story of inner grit, to feel that desire in every cell of your body and allow that desire to pull you forward into action. No more sitting on the sidelines waiting for someone else to tell you what to do. No more sitting on the sidelines waiting for your guides to tell you that it's time. It is time. If you are watching this, please hear me now. The world needs you. So if you are struggling with technology, you're struggling with confidence or trust in yourself, you're struggling with how to market yourself, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation and let's move that message out into the world together. One of the ways that can be really helpful in figuring out how to share your message with the world and to step forward in a way that feels like you can stand confidently and really be powerful in how you're sharing your message is to know who you're speaking to. That can be really helpful. Now, in all old school marketing, in any marketing, they're going to tell you to know who your soulmate client is, your dream client, who your ideal client is. But let's simplify it even more, because you don't necessarily need to know what magazines they read, what coffee they drink, where they hang out. That information can be useful. But really, what you need to know is who you're here to serve. And to know them better than they know themselves, to feel their energy, to feel what keeps them up at night, to feel what it is that they are struggling with or challenged by, and to know that you can support them and help them. You're not here to rescue them. You're not here to tell them what to do. You're not here to hold their hand and guide them along the way. You're not doing the healing. They must heal themselves. They must come through this pathway on their own accord. They must take responsibility for their own inner work. That's not your job, but your job is to know what they are struggling with and to connect with them on an energetic level and to speak to them. Do you know who that person is? Do you know who your soul family is? That's why I like to refer to it as a soulmate client, because they are somebody who is energetically connected to you. There is a tie that bonds you. There is a code. I use numerology all the time, and we can look at ideal client energy through your numerology chart and give you the language and all the things. But until you understand, first and foremost, what your magic is, and then you understand who you are here to support, that's when the marketing language and all that fancy stuff just lands. It's very simple. There's a lot of noise out there in the online space about how you've got to word things properly and have the proper hook. And you've got to make sure that you're talking to all their pain points and talking about the problem you can solve. Yes, but there is an underlying layer to that that so many marketers miss. It's your soul family. Do you know who they are? And if you don't, perhaps it's time to find out, to discover who they are and to feel who they are. Imagine yourself having a cup of tea or a glass of wine across the couch from them. Imagine yourself having a conversation with them, heart to heart, and feeling their energy. That's where you go with this. So if you're trying to figure out who it is you speak to, put yourself in that place and imagine it to be true. All the strategy in the world won't help you figure out this energy. Loving humanity is not a strategy. Loving humanity comes from here. You have a desire to share something with the world that will help people, and you're trying to figure out how to do it. Start with who you're connecting with and who your soul family is and who you're here to serve. That's where you begin. You deserve to get paid for your gifts. And all the noise and the chaos out there in the online space about all the strategies and all the tactics will only get you so far. If you show up genuine, authentic, in love with life and in love with humanity, people will feel that. And if you show up human with all your flaws, quote unquote flaws, I don't like to even call it that, because as humans, we are ultimately whole. There's nothing wrong with you. There may be beliefs and old stories and old patterns, but that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you need more healing. It doesn't mean that you're supposed to be broke for years. It doesn't mean that you're supposed to struggle. You are human, which ultimately means you are entitled to an abundant life. Now, society might tell you otherwise, which is why we have so many problems with our money stories and all the poverty and everything that's happening in the world. That's why we struggle, because society wants to keep us down with all the patterns and all the stories. But you get to choose differently. You get to decide that you will be abundant, that you will show up in all your wholeness and all your human wonder and all your magic, flaws and all, and you will show up because you care, because you are genuine, you are authentic, and you give a shit. That's what matters. People will feel that, and you will break through all the noise and all of the illusion and all of the cookie cutter crap that's out there, and people will see your heart. People will see how much you love them, and people will resonate with what you're sharing. One of the things I've always said with my clients is you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person, because it's not necessarily about the words. Words carry a lot of meaning, but your energy field and how you show up and your authenticity carries so much more weight. So no matter what story you're telling yourself, no matter where you're caught up in, I can't do this, or I'm not enough, or I don't know how, wherever you're caught up in the story around your money, that's okay. You must step out of your zone of familiarity. You must step forward. The world needs you, and it will be scary and it will be terrifying, and you will judge yourself and other people will judge you. And you will be shining your light so bright that people will see you. So, my friend, please shine your light. Show people that it's okay to show up. Show people the way. Show people that it's okay to be goofy and quirky and wacky and weird and wonderful. Don't try to fit yourself into a square box. You don't belong there. How could you possibly put your magic in a box? Live your life whole, authentically, genuine. Share who you are. Yes, all over social media. Tell people who you are, not just the picture perfect version of you, but the weird and wacky and wonderful version of you. That's how we make change. That's how we lead the world to a better place. That's how we share our light. not by perfect headshots and perfect graphics and perfect PDFs and having all our ducks in a row. Dear Lord, those ducks, they don't ever want to be in a row. Enjoy the journey of learning, of exploring your world and learning this online business thing with childlike wonder, and play it like a game, because that's all it is. That's all it is. And when you choose to do that, you live abundantly. People see you. People want to be with you. And the rest of it falls into place. And then you can add some strategy and some things. But until you get to that place, you've got to come from a place of the heart. You've got to come from a place of actually wanting to be with other people instead of worrying so much about how you look or how you're showing up or the proper words to say. Just come from the heart. Connect. Be of service. That's all you got to do. It's really that simple. Our minds like to overcomplicate it and make it weird. That's okay. We are human. You are whole, and you are ready. If you don't feel ready, reach out and let's have a conversation. Let's talk about how you can get to the place where you are ready, because my friend, the world needs you.